today to have as our guest the Union Defence Minister, Nirmala Sitharaman. Welcome, ma'am. We all know that Ms. Sitharaman's has been an absolutely marvelous, remarkable trajectory and graph. You know, from the time that she joined the BJP in 2008, becoming its national spokesperson in 2010, becoming a union minister in 2014, and then to this magnificent elevation in 2017 as India's first full-fledged woman defence minister. As spokesperson for her party, she brought a very striking dignity and grace and incisiveness to our public political debate. And as defense minister, in an extremely challenging environment, both for the defense forces and also for the polity, with just a year away, the general elections just a year away, she has been very visibly on the job. So, ma'am, if I could begin by actually talking a little bit about your own, this remarkable journey, which from where, you know, from outside, as we look at you, and sometimes one has got close-up glimpses of your journey and trajectory, one knows that as much as there has been hard work, there has also been surprises. This elevation, for instance, to the defense ministership. Can you take us back a little to that day when you became defense minister? Did you have any inkling at all? And then after that, what to you has been the most daunting and the most exciting part of this job?
That's addressing a lot within one question. I had no clue whatsoever. Even as I went in for the swearing in, I didn't know that I was going to be given this portfolio. The swearing in was over. I came back home. There were a lot of media persons. I was with them talking. And even then, many of them asked me if I knew what portfolio I'll be assigned. I said, it doesn't matter, whatever is given to me, I'll do my best. And it was well after that I got to know. On that day, but I got to know well after the swearing in.
So this was a complete surprise?
Yeah, absolutely.
And what was your first reaction at that time?
Well, I didn't have so much to react as my family did, because they were.
You told me, I remember, that your daughter saw it on some TV monitor in Khan Market.
That's right. She was going away that night, and she was with me during the swearing in. And then she came back home. I was with the press. She said, okay, half an hour, I'll just go away and come back. And she went to the neighborhood market, and we were to have lunch together. In the meanwhile, I had this call from the CAPSEC. So I went away, and I had to go to the Raksha Mantri's house, Arun Jaitley ji's house. And it was there that I got to know. And after I got to know, I mean, procedurally, because it had to be informed to the person concerned first and then the media. After I got to know, it was, of course, all over in the media. And my daughter was supposed to come back home for lunch and be with me, saw it in the market, and she said, when I came back home, she said, why didn't you tell me? I said, I didn't know. Why didn't somebody tell me? So that's how it was.
There's such a powerful symbolism to being India's first woman defense minister. So is it a burden, ma'am, or 7 months later, can you say you're enjoying it? What is it that you enjoy?
Thoroughly enjoying it.
What part of it do you enjoy the most?
Well, enjoying it not in that sense of I'm having fun, enjoying it because it's so much of a challenge. Enjoying because people who you're working with have so much of expectations. They want to do a lot of things quickly with you. And much to my surprise, not a moment have I been made to feel, all right, a woman, probably the Prime Minister wanted to make a, token gesture. None whatsoever. They've been very, very professional at it, getting to do the real work. And therefore, that ease with which people have taken this thought of a woman minister has been a great strength for me, and made my job far easier to adjust and set going. So that's the if I can say surprise, I wouldn't want to say it as a surprise, but that's the biggest positive element. So there's this narrative outside, which I'll also probably partake if I hadn't been into this ministry, saying there's a lot of glass ceiling that you have to break, and there's a lot of trying to do to be at par. None of that. In fact, I'm so happy that probably that's the impression we all have outside. In there, I'm as good or as bad as anybody else. That has been the biggest surprise element for me. And I'm so happy for that, because people in the uniform, I have somebody here in front of me, and those, the civil, have all treated me the same way they would have treated any other Raksha Mantri. So that's a great thing there.
But to go back to your graph, you were an outsider to Delhi. You belong to Tamil Nadu. You'd made a home in Andhra Pradesh. You are a woman. You are also not a BJP old-timer or somebody who's come up from the RSS. So did these three things make a difference? Did you feel you had to prove yourself all that much more? I have watched you, in those early days when you did not even have a fixed address in Delhi, and you would go from State Bhavan to State Bhavan. So do you think it's not, we know that all politicians work hard despite what the cynics might say. But do you think you had to do that little bit more because you were a woman, because you were from outside Delhi, and you were from the south of India?
From outside Delhi, yes. I think it plays on you a lot. For a national party, it was a big thing for the party to have chosen people from outside of Delhi. And that actually tells you that the party is willing to do a lot more, giving of opportunities. And therefore, from outside of Delhi works on your brain. Although I had studied in Delhi, Delhi was not completely a new place for me. But as a political worker, yes, it was thoroughly a new place. The opportunity was given. But as you said, and at that time, I think I've shared with you once or twice, like when you've interviewed or talked to me. Yes, I was moving like a nomad. Not from one bhavan to another bhavan, but only once in a bhavan, but otherwise in all my friends' place. So it used to be just one set of clothes, one bag full of clothes, and lived with one set of friends. And if it was really obvious that I could search for a different place, I would move. And the party was seized of it. It wasn't as if they were indifferent to it, but being in the opposition, you had very little opportunity for even asking a MP's quarters to be given to, a full-time worker. So it took me nearly almost 2 years of spokespersonship being a nomad in Delhi. And there was a time when I had this little hesitation in my mind, because after all, you may be belonging to a family which is all right with you doing all these things. But after a point, they started asking you, where are you actually? Do you have a place? Is it only 11 Ashoka Road for every... but 11 Ashoka Road is not where you're living. So it had its own delicate moments. And there was a time when I had this little suspicion. My mother-in-law would probably tell me, all right, enough, you come back. Because every family does have, what is this, daughter-in-law in Delhi with no address, going around. So those funny moments were there. But sooner, I must say that the party also realized and did give me an accommodation together with the other full-time women workers. So yes, there was a time, which was not a few months, when, because you're so soaked into what you want to do, you just put up with whatever facility is available.
But ma'am, if I were to press you just a little bit more here, was it tougher because you were a woman? That's my question.
Yeah, definitely. Because you also carry this whole thing of you have to respond to a family which has every question to ask of you. Probably the feeling would be this comparable and similar for men, but you don't get bogged down about it. So, although it was in my mind, I'm not sure if my family really pushed me to that brink. But yes, because it's a woman, you want to be in a safe environment, you want to be in a place where you know the person, all that usual thing which you have as a working woman. I suppose the same thing applied to me also.
But would you have asked more legitimate things from the party if you were a man? Would you have felt more comfortable asking? And did you feel a little more defensive because you were a woman and also because you were an outsider to Delhi?
Yes, certainly. I think was hesitant to ask, but I must say to the credit of Nitin Gadkari ji, because he was the president at that time, he was very forthcoming, saying, and he would, knowing the limitation, he would every now and then check with me, saying, are you all right? You're here. Is there anything that I need to do? So that way, personal attention from the national president was there. And subsequently, he also made sure that somewhere some accommodation was arranged for me. So, yes, with the fact that you are a woman, subconsciously it plays on you. Although you know you're all right, you can do it.